Perfect. What's going on, team? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are having a fantastic trading day so far. Um, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, let's start off with AU again. This is the live trading session. This is we're gonna look for entries. We're gonna go through our pairs one by one real quick. See what's left on the charts for us. If we have anything left, any moves that we could catch, then we'll go and we'll look for that. So, AU off rip already. It's up to their 30-minute lows and 30-minute highs. So we know we're trading between this lower low, right, and this lower high over here. I usually don't use the wicks, but I'm gonna use the wick and this candle. So we know we're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. And once again, we're still looking for a pullback before I could continue to take a trade here on AU. So AU, I'm not going to be trading it. EA price gave us 2 days of rise. On the third day, it ended up giving us a third day rise. It didn't give us a new high, right? We also know, let's start from the top to the bottom, so we know exactly where we're at, what we're looking for. So V2, we're looking for price to give us that third push to the top side. We can still see price. We're still in a downtrend. We're still making lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be a lower high? Yes. We know that in level 3, we're looking for price. Mr. Smith, welcome to the stream. Good morning, good morning. Gold, I got you. I'm gonna go in order. The ones with the red flags are the pairs that I currently look at. So I'm gonna go in order real quick just so we could get all on the same page on what we're looking for and why. So Euro AUD, again, even though we're in a external uptrend, we know that internally we're still making lower lows and lower highs, and we can see that lower low, lower high, lower low. This could be the lower high to continue going short. Alright, so before I can take a trade on Euro AUD, I need to start seeing the shift in character, right? Externally as well. Internally we're good, right? Internally we made lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, all the way to the top, higher high, break of structure. But let's see, right? Either way, I'm not going to be trading EA actively just yet, but we'll keep an eye on it for the rest of this week. And tomorrow's Friday already, so thanks, of course, no problem. EuroCAD already gave us the move for the day, right? That fourth push to the top side after the break of the zone of consolidation. The retest entry was pretty much at 1 to 2 in the morning. So ECAD's already done for the day. We're gonna turn this one off. EU, we're still at the bottom making lower lows and lower highs. So we had this lower low, lower high, and we're all the way down here for the lower low. And this is another pair that for the day I'm not going to be trading it. GA, same type of situation as the other pairs as well. This one already gave us 4 days that push to the top side. We still don't have that break of structure, which is what we want to see. Before I could take a trade, I either want to see price give me a break of these highs to continue the same way we talked about yesterday, right? I either want to see price break these highs to continue, or I want to see price reject these highs to go short, right? And at this moment, we're just going back and forth on both sides. So GA, nothing for GA. GCAD, STP, the safe take profit for the day's already hit. The move for the day's already made as well. Gave us a beautiful change of character. This is setting up really nicely for tomorrow and for next week. So GCAD will come back to this next week. Mr. Jazz, welcome to the stream. Good morning, good morning. GJ. So GJ, this is another pair that I'm not going to trade, and this is exactly why. Right, so let's start from the top to the bottom real quick. We know that GJ, we're in an uptrend in the daily time frame, still making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. However, in the internal time frames, in the lower time frames, we know we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be a lower high? Absolutely. Right, in this lower high, we could see how many times price has rejected to break these highs. 1, 2, 3, 4 different times now. Right, in the 30-minute time frame, we could see that. Right, why wasn't I interested in really taking these trades is because I know I'm looking for a reversal back down to the bottom. The only way I'll be able to take these trades on GJ is once we break above these highs. Again, same thing we were talking about yesterday. Nothing has really changed in the markets in the last 24 hours. we're trading around the same parameters, right? So GJ for me for today is not, again, I'm not even going to entertain it. GJ is not even one on my watch list. So let's see, so far we don't really have any pairs. GU still trading within. So first of all, let's lower low, lower high, lower low, and you can see that in the last couple, pretty much since yesterday, right? The last 24 hours, price has just been moving sideways. So we have this engulfing candle in the 30-minute time frame. However, I'm going to take this off, so we're not using a not so strong zone. Nothing in the daily, no engulfings in the daily, nothing in the 4, nothing in the 1 hour. Right, the 30-minute, again, very similar to EU, very similar to AU. I'm looking for the break. I'm looking for that change of character above to start making higher highs and higher lows, so we could start locking in some entries on GU. We know that we're pretty much trading between higher high going into the higher low, so we're looking for that higher low to be set. In the 4-hour time frame, we can see that, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Looking for that higher low. We're either going to be looking for that higher low to be set, right, for price to give us an anchor to then continue the uptrend push, or this is where we're simply just going to continue to see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, to make another lower high to go back into a lower low in the 4-hour time frame, right? Which again, the 30-minute will give us that confirmation. We know we'll get a lower high if price ends up doing something like this, right, to continue that downtrend push to the bottom in the 4-hour time frame, right? So GU for today, we're gonna turn that off. US 30, we're still in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. 4-hour time frame, we could see we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price just consolidated here, higher low, and then pushed up to the top and gave us still an equal high, but we're back at the tops, right? And in the 30-minute time frame, we could see that 30-minute, we know we were just in a zone of consolidation for the last week and a half until yesterday. Price went to the top side, still didn't break. Technically, we did not get a break of structure of these highs, right, where the zone of consolidation goes into. Gave us an inducement, went back down, gave us an inducement to the lows, went back up and gave us another inducement to the highs, right? We have 2 days of rise, today being the 3rd day. Once again, the fact that we're at the top of the 30-minute zone, we're at the top of the 4-hour zone, we're at the top of the daily zone, I'm not expecting price to continue this uptrend push, right? However, this is a NYC pair. Let me go ahead and just clear these charts real quick. I was doing a one-on-one session, so I kind of have all of this marked up, but I hope the markings make more sense to everybody, especially the beginner traders, right? So we know that this is not even a valid fib retracement because we're really trading between this break gave us this high and this low. So at this moment, check the higher time frames too, just in case. Nothing. We have no engulfing candles. 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are all wonky. You know, at this point, for us to feel comfortable taking a trade, I need to see price break these lows, right? I either need to see price break these lows to continue, or we're going to see price break these highs to continue. At the end of the day, this could still be that 23.6 retracement from this little structure that we have in the internal time frame. Right, so we want to be super patient with US 30. We'll keep this one on. We'll take a look at it during NYC. USD CAD still continuing this uptrend push. Before I could take a trade, I need to see a higher low. I need to see a pullback. But STP and ADR for the day has already been hit as well for USD CAD. So not looking for anything there. USD ZAR very similar. Right, I'm not really going to be looking to trade USD ZAR. Alright, gold. I got you, Mr. Smith. So gold, right, very simple. Let's start from the top to the bottom. So gold, very similar to GJ, very similar to US 30. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We're in a higher high, looking for whether or not price is going to give us a higher low to continue into a higher high, or is price going to just completely turn around. So here in the daily time frame, we have no engulfing candles. In the 4-hour, we know we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Right now we're in a pullback. So now we've reached the second point of interest of a support zone, which is a 38.2 retracement. right? After a break of structure, you're looking for, after a higher high, you're looking for a pullback, right? The pullback could be anywhere between 23.6, 38.2, 50%, just following the rules, right? And in this case, in peak high, I'm looking for price to bounce off the 50, so I don't have too much confluence, right? Using these fib zones, I don't really have a lot of confluence. I'm looking at market structure for the main thing at the end of the day. So if I get a break of structure, excuse me, break of structure retest of this little zone here that's by the 50%, you know, we already know that this is most likely where price is going to turn around. So either way, I could be expecting a steeper pullback on gold, right? We have a week of drop, this week being the second week. Could we expect price to give us a third week of drop next week to go lower? It could happen, right? And again, we'll use the 30-minute as confluence, right? At this point, we had 3 days of drop. We had beautiful pushes going into from last week going to this week. And then this week, price just continued that push down to the bottom. We're expecting a little pullback. Why is this a day of rise? Am I drunk? Is it still a drop, right? Before I could take a trade on this, I need to see a pullback, right? This has been a pair where, yeah, we could see the change of character, we could see the break of structure, but we're still right on the 800 EMA. We know that price tends to respect the 800 EMA. So this is going to be one of those situations. Now that we see that price is just moving sideways in this little area, we don't really have anything too crazy. This is going to be where we're either going to be looking for price to break above here, right, to continue, or we're going to be looking for that break below the zone. Same thing we talked about in last night's session. And that's pretty much it for gold, right? Again, at this point, I'm not expecting price to continue that downtrend push. I'll either be expecting price to just consolidate for the next day, day and a half, or I'm expecting price to give me a pullback, right? A push back to the top side. So here in the 30-minute, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna be honest, like that's really the only thing I can say about gold. I'm either gonna be looking for that break above to continue, or I'm gonna be looking for the rejection at the top to go back down to the bottom, the same way we did yesterday. Bitcoin, 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, market must chop or rise, so I am expecting price to push up today. No engulfing candles, nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1, nothing on the 30. I don't want to go lower, but we'll do it for the sake of the stream. 15-minute engulfing, but these engulfing candles in the 15 don't hold too much weight. So we'll see. We're still making lower low, lower high. So we will see. We will continue to monitor gold as well. I mean Bitcoin. The last but not least, US oil. We know we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a little change of character, break of structure, but once again very similar to gold, just opposite. Right? Yes, even though we could see the change of character, even though we could see the break of structure, even though we could see lower low, lower high, lower low, where is price at? 800 EMA. We know that price respects the 800 EMA. So this 372 that we're looking for going short, could we be expecting that to happen today? Possibly not. And we could see already how price is turning back around. So this is going to be, again, another pair where I'm just going to have to be patient, guys. Trading is 99% patience, 1% execution, right? As long as you can see where price is more probable to work out or not, and you decide to stay away from those trades, that's all that matters, right? And again, I don't trade going counter. I don't trade against the overall trend. So, you know, for a lot of these pullbacks, I literally all I could do is just wait. We'll see how price goes. We'll see what happens. So if you guys have any questions, any pairs at all, let me know. Any pairs in specific that you guys are looking at, whether or not they're on my list, let me know. If not, you know, then we're pretty much just gonna sit here for a little bit. Let me actually look at Forex Factory real quick. We got news today at 8:30, so we might not get any type of movements for an hour. Trying to see, like, alright, what could we capture for today? But there's really very minimum trades for today. You know, last week was pretty good. Last week, the end of last week was pretty good for some of these trades. The beginning of the week was really good too. I believe AU was the trade for the beginning of this week, same as Bitcoin. Yeah. Um, you know, literally that's it. Well, just Monday, that 372 on Monday is the only trade that was really good for the week. And then everything else is just okay. After 372, we're looking for a pullback, and every single pair that had a 372 reacted the same way. It just continued, or we never got the break of structures, right? So, but EuroCAD, the Euro pairs completed their moves for the week. The GBP pairs also completed their moves for the week. So it's not like there's not much we could do here. I wouldn't want to catch these trades on GJ here at these zones. That's the problem with GJ. There's like two other pairs that have that same issue with market structure that I'm just like, nah. You know, we could even say similar to gold and US 30. So there's a few pairs that are like that, very similar to GJ, where its market structure just does not look good at all. And there's nothing we can do about that. Once again, it's just you got to make that decision on, you know what, let's take a step back from this pair and let's come back to it when it starts looking better. Nothing we could do about that. Alright, there's no confirmations on any of these pairs as of right now. So the only one that we could keep our eye on is really gonna be here on US oil. And for us to break, even to turn around, we need to see this break in the 1 minute time frame. So notice how even the internal time frame is just messing up the external. Right? For the people who want to get into these shorts early right now, you know, if you get trapped in the lower time frames, you know, you're trading pretty much higher high, higher low, higher high. And then price went down and gave us a higher low. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be right back. My bad, guys. I am back. So, yeah, let's update this real quick. We've only been out for, I was only out for what, 20 minutes of that. And, yeah, we could see how this didn't hold up, right? A lot of the people were like, oh, let's just take buys here because we had internal, this internal retest, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? But it's like, no, we gotta, structure is still down, right? Will there be times where you're at the lows and you could force a trade at the lows? Yes. But this is not where you want to do that. Very similar to GU, right? These are not lows that you want to just take a trade going long and you could just set it and just forget about it and just let it go into take profit. These are not the lows yet. And for a lot of people it's like it's difficult to fathom because they're like, okay, but how do you know, right? And how are we so sure? You guys got to realize, these rules that we use, both me and E, right, both in the live trading session, which is this one, and the isolation session, is we've been trading the same way for a very long time. Right? He has more experience than me. So when you put in the years together and how we've been trading, it's the exact same thing we've been doing for many years. So a lot of this has been back tested already. Not only in previous years back testing, but with current time as well, present time. So long story short, let's say the price, as we can see now, is failing to keep, to respect these lows here, and it looks like price just wants to continue. Where would I start looking for price to give me those lows? There's two areas, and I'll be treating them the exact same way I'm treating the zone, the price right now, the area that we're in right now. The reason I'm looking for it too is very big. You have to understand the reasoning as well, right? So let's talk about, why is this area the 23.6 and the daily time frame. We're looking at structuring the daily time frame and then going into a lower time frame to understand what price is really doing, right? We could see price giving us higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. We could see that we're in a higher low. But in the daily time frame, we know we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, and then we ended up getting a higher high break of structure with this push here, right? So understanding that for this month, I'm not expecting price to give me a higher high this month. I'm expecting a pullback, or I'm expecting price to move sideways. And right now we can see that we've already given the pullback. We started that push down to the bottom, which is good. Now for the last couple of days, we can see that price has just been moving sideways down here, which when we go to the 30-minute time frame, we could see that, right? The last couple of days, price has just been pretty much still giving us lower lows, just moving sideways, nothing too crazy, right? So understanding that we still don't have, right, in the full hour you could see a lot more clearly the higher high and the higher low, right? So for us to sit here and say, I'll give you another example, right? I have it typed up here, right? But this is a week higher high. Why? Because price ended up giving us 2 weeks of rise, and on the third week, which was last week, price did not give us that push. Now, if price would have given us that rise and then would have given us this pullback, then we could say, okay, cool. We're looking for that fourth week or that fifth week variation where we finished on a rise drop, but we know price had to make a higher high to go into a higher low, induce the high induce the sellers, right, thinking that this is where price was going to completely turn around, right, and then turn them back up, when they're in their sells to go back up to the higher highs, right? So this would have been the inducement to make people believe that this is where price is going to continue to go short, and then it fakes you out and goes long, right? This is what I would have loved to have seen on GU. Now, again, the fact that we already understand that, okay, these are weak highs, we are not really trading in this. We already have 3 months to the push to the top side. I'm not expecting price to continue going higher. You know, this is where we understand, well, okay, cool. Instead of looking for an entry on the 23.6, now we have to wait for price to give us a steeper pullback into the 38.2, right? So these are just little confluences and more confirmation, and you could draw up more zones to have that pinpoint entry that you're looking for. Now, will those entries always be available to you? No, right? That's why I say, okay, cool. If you can't get those entries, which again, let's say 70% of the time you won't be able to catch those type of entries, you have to start now looking like, okay, cool, I can't catch those wick entries all the way at the bottoms. Where can I start looking for an entry? Okay, cool. If you got those pinpoint entries when price was still making lower lows and lower highs the way GU is right now, then okay, cool, we understand that we could start looking for trades again. Let's say we missed these trades, right? Let's say we missed these pinpoint entries at the bottom. Our next point of interest to start taking a trade is going to be once we break these highs, get a retest to continue, right? So these are really our two options right now for GU and for a lot of the pairs that we've been looking at since this morning, right? We have to just wait for price to either give us that confirmation at the lows to get in on those trades, right? Wait for the anchors to develop, or we're gonna have to wait for price to start making higher highs and higher lows, because right now we're still downtrending, making lower lows and lower highs, right? Very similar to EU. It's very similar. I would love to catch these trades at the bottom to go long, but again, before we could start taking those trades, right? If you're an impatient trader, you know, if you were trading anytime this week, you know, how many times did you guys stopped out thinking that you were trading the lows, right? So this is one of those situations, again, very similar to GU, where we have these 4-hour lows, we have these engulfing candles, and we see them in the higher time frame, right? We know that these are higher high, higher low, higher high, and this was just internal movement, right? Faking all the traders out, made them believe that this is where price was going to continue, higher low, higher high, higher low. Look how price reacted, right? Started giving you fake pullbacks to the top side. This is the 4-hour time frame, right? So for a whole 4, 8, 12, 16 hours, it made you believe this is where price was going to continue this push to the top side. And then what did price do? Boom, melted all the way back down. So it didn't even give you the opportunity to be like, oh no, it's gonna do the same thing as the top. It's gonna give you an equal low, right? It didn't even give you an opportunity to believe that. It was as soon as, if you still held thinking that this is where price was gonna hold, it just took you out with one candle in one 4-hour move, right? So again, really understanding market structure is gonna save you from taking unnecessary losses, right? And we'll say that because a lot of people also don't believe that you could have a really good strike record. So let's use words and sentences that people believe, right? Unnecessary losses, right? But using that logic, you know, again, what are, if you could take unnecessary losses, like what is an unnecessary loss? If you're not following your system, you know you're winning your trade if you follow your system. So then with Euro USD, what I also like in the daily is that we have that 3rd month push, gave us a rise no net. So I am expecting price to give me a pullback to the 200 EMA. Once again, in level 2, looking for that second push to the top side. We're looking for a pullback to the 200 EMA. So not only are we on the 200 EMA pullback, but in the 4-hour time frame, we're also on the pullback of the 4-hour higher low to continue into the higher high. So we have a lot of confluence for price to continue this push down to the bottom, at least a few more pips. So not only that, we also have the break of structure of the zone of consolidation that we've been in since Friday going into Monday for this week, right? We finally have that break, so we could be expecting price to continue that downtrend. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me go grab some water and then we'll continue this. We have news at 8:30 again, so I'm pretty much just gonna keep the stream until 8:30 and then we'll be done. Again, I don't really have any trades to really look at. I don't have any pairs. So I'm pretty much just here for you guys. Any questions you guys have, anything you guys want me to explain, let me know. And if not, we'll just continue to monitor these pairs and see if we can catch any trades. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, once again, we have news now at 8:30. So could we expect price on US 30 to give us that third push to the top side? Could we expect Bitcoin to follow this internal structure, higher high, higher low? I really, once again, this is where we just gotta wait for our confirmations, right? Instead of trading what I think I know and what I think I see, I'm gonna trade what I know I see, right? And it's a lot of rules are just conflicting with each other, right? So like rule number one, for example, 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, market must rise or give us a no net. So far we're looking good, right? So far it looks like price wants to give us that push to the top side. However, again, remember what I said, a rise or a no net, meaning price could either finish on a high or price could finish anywhere in this zone here, right? If price finishes anywhere between this high and this low, it'll be considered a no net. So could the news just also push price back down to the bottom and just finish the day on a no net, right? It could do that. So understanding now, why would you say that? Why would you think that's happening when you can see price giving you higher highs and higher lows? Well, very simple. When we're looking at market structure, what do we see? Well, we see an internal shoulder head shoulder. On top of the fact that we have an internal shoulder head shoulder, right? We have that break of the low, right? That break of the low, this pullback that we have back to the top side is just a retest. Oh, so now what do we see? Right? We went from making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, change of character, higher high, right? Higher low, break of structure, push number 3, and this is where we started having again lower low, change of character, lower high, right? Zone of consolidation, we had a little shoulder head shoulder, we had a break of structure, lower low, lower high, right? And we already know there's another rule that we have here that's giving us extra confluence to believe that price is going to continue to go short, is we have a daily engulfing candle that price tapped into, right? We went away from it and we came right back to it. That's another confluence letting us know that this isn't a strong place to start looking for buys, right? Now, this is a pair very similar to US 30. Would love for price to continue to go high. Would love it. But we need to wait for those confirmations, right? We need to absolutely need to wait for those confirmations. There's no other way around it. There's nothing we could do about that rule. We need those confirmations. Without confirmations, what are we trading? Are we trading again? Are we trading what we know? Or are we trading what we think, what we feel? And you can't, again, trading is one of those things you have to be like a robot. You have to just continue to follow the coding that you input, which in this situation, the coding is your rules, right? If you're a robot, you're trading if this, then that, if that, then this, right? Trading is the exact same way. If you're following a set of rules, you have to make sure those rules are being followed. If the rules are being followed, you take the trade, boom, take profit as hit. Now, if you're not following those rules and you start taking trades based off of what you think you see and what you think you want to know, then that's when your stop losses continue to be hit. So, Bitcoin, I'm gonna take it easy. Again, we got news in 26 minutes. I'm not gonna rush into any of these trades. At this point, also, I don't trade 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after news. So, at this point, I don't believe I'll get an entry point, but after 8:15, I'm not taking any trades. We'll give this one some time to develop. Again, US oil is another situation, very similar to US 30 and Bitcoin, right? Very similar to gold too, where it's like, we'll love to take these trades. We'll love for this trade to play out going short. And it looks so good. If you're zooming in just like this and you forgot about everything else that the market is giving you in the daily time frame and the full hour, well, why wouldn't price go short? Right? We went from higher high, higher low to lower low, lower high, lower low. Why wouldn't this give us that lower high into the lower low for 372? Right? If I was any other trader, I would just take this trade and then I would say, fuck it, my stop loss is only 47 pips. I could risk that if I was any other trader. But understanding that I'd rather preserve my capital and get into a trade that's higher probability, well, that's a different mindset. Because now instead of losing 4 trades in a row at even 0.5% risk, I just saved 100% of my capital. And now when my setup is present, again, like how gold was, right? What are we talking about? You wait for your setup, you wait for the right stop loss to be developed, you take your entry, straight into profit. Straight into profit. Right? You can leverage your account, you save your capital, you no longer have to be like, well, now I could only risk 1% because I already lost 3%, 4%, 5% of my account in 3 trades. There's levels to this game, right? Especially as a day trader. I don't swing trade. I'm not a scalper. I'm a day trader. I make my money today. So, with that being said, when you're trading 1, 2, 3, 4 times max in a week, you have to make sure that you're winning 3 out of 4 of those, 3 out of 4 trades at least. At least you're winning 3 out of 4 trades. Because if you're only winning 2 out of 2 and you have a 50% strike rate, I mean, you better know what you're doing. You better have good risk management. And that's something a lot of people seem to kind of forget, even though I stream live every single time I take trades. Which is, you guys see how many trades I take in a week. Sometimes I take 2 trades in a week. Sometimes I take 1. Sometimes I take 6. Sometimes I have 2 weeks where I have no trades. Right? Because I wait for my setups. If my setups aren't present, I'm not taking a trade. It's that simple. There's nothing else that goes in my mind. There's nothing else that tells me, well, I haven't traded in 6 days, I have to trade today. Like, no, if there's nothing to trade, if I don't see my setup, what am I trading? You see what I mean? Like, that's the mindset. And again, the mindset is different. It shouldn't be different, but it is different depending on the style of trading that you're doing. Right? So if you're a risk management trader, okay, cool. Right? Understand that you have your risk that you could tolerate in a day-to-day basis. You could take 10 trades. If you lose those 10 trades, that's when you stop trading. Okay, perfect. Come back the next day and try again. Right? But if you're a market structure trader, a strategy built based trader, you're waiting for your setups. There's no other way around it. And again, there's some people who learn that the hard way, and there's some people who understand that right away. and then they operate the way they need to. So here's my confliction between Bitcoin and US30. So this is the first time that we're seeing US30 and Bitcoin move very differently, right? We have 2 days of rise on US30 when we have 2 days of drop on Bitcoin. Now, why is that a big deal? Is because we can't use that as confluence anymore. Usually we could go to Bitcoin and US30 and see the confluence between them and how they're moving. However, we know that also USD CAD and USD ZAR are also pairs that move relatively very similar, and we could see how USD ZAR had 2 days of rise, right? And we could see that USD CAD hasn't stopped rising. So these are also pairs where there's a lot of manipulations going on, right? And we know that I could give another reason, USD CAD and US30 move opposite. So usually when USD CAD is moving up like this means US30 is pushing down. And we can see that again. That's not happening, right? So we know that there's a lot of market manipulation happening, especially this year, again, starting with the wars and everything else that's going on politically around the world, not even the United States, politically, globally this year. Politics side of everything has been crazy. So I'm not surprised that these pairs, the correlations right now are not looking good. I'm not surprised. But it makes trading just a little harder, because again, in order for me to take a trade on USD CAD at this point, a pair that, yes, we are uptrending, we are in an overall uptrend, but for me to take a trade now on USD CAD, I need to wait for a pullback, right? Again, we know we have 2 weeks of rise. We know that this week we will finish on a second week of rise. Before I could take a trade going into next week, I need to see a pullback. If we could get a pullback on this pair to then continue that overall uptrend push for that third push to the top side, that would be ideal. But pretty much at this point, we could start off from Friday, September 27th, pretty much all the way till today. We're talking about a whole 2 weeks where price has just been pushing up every single day, right? So we gotta wait for those pullbacks. There's nothing else we could do about that. There's really zero we could do about that, and just wait it out. Now for gold, I'm not gonna force any trades here. Price is pretty similar to USD CAD's reasoning. We have 3, 4, 5, 6 days where price has just been pushing down, and from yesterday till today price has been moving sideways. So I need to see a break of structure before I take any type of trade here on gold. Once again, for Bitcoin, I'm not operating Bitcoin just yet. We're waited out. Similar to US30, I'm really not gonna trade US30. And oil, same thing. We're on the 800 EMA at this point. The two options that we have is to either wait for price to break above, and then price is gonna continue that uptrend push, or we're gonna be looking for price to break these lows to continue going short. Again, at this point we have 18 minutes for the news, so I'm not gonna be trading at this point until after 8:30. 8:45 is when I'll start looking for trades again. I don't trade 15 minutes before news, 15 minutes after news. We'll wait it out, and then NYC open is at 9:30, so we'll see what price ends up doing for us. So once again, starting from the top to the bottom, AU I'm not going to be looking to trade. EA I'm not looking to trade that either. Euro CAD already gave us a move for the day. Euro USD also not trading it, very similar to GU. I want to see price give us higher highs and higher lows before anything else. GA also already gave us the moves that we were looking for. GCAD already gave us a move for the day as well. GJ, I'm not trading it just yet until we get out of the zone. I want to see either break below, or I want to see a break above. GU, again, very similar to EU. We're just moving counter still moving down. So I'm not going to be trading it. US 30, we know we're pretty much just waiting to see what news is going to do. USD CAD already gave us the move for the day. USD ZAR moving counter still. I'm not going to trade that either until once we get the pullback. That's when I'll start trading USD ZAR. I want to see CHF as well. There was a few. I don't like where we're at with USD CHF, so I'm not going to turn this one on just yet. Once we get that change of character on this pair, that's when I'll start trading it in the internal time frame. The full hour most likely. Because internal in the full hour we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So once we get that change of character in the full hour time frame, and once we confirm those moves, you know what, I'm also gonna put these lines real quick. What time is it? 8:14. We got 15 minutes. I got time. No net for this one. Had a week of drop for this one. Had a week of rise for this one. Perfect. Shit. This is good, right? And why is this good? Right, because this week we can see that price is wanting to give us that second push to the top side. So we know that in level 1, right, where are we for USD CHF? We're pretty much in peak low territory. Right? We're pretty much in peak low territory. We understand that all of this was probably just in a higher time frame. Right? We can see that we've been in a downtrend. The weekly is too high. But we've been in a downtrend forever. Right? And you know, these drawings that we have in the daily were obviously not correct that I had drawn here when I was first using TradingView. And looking at this chart, but we could just see that price here is where we could go ahead and start saying, well, we have lower low, lower high, right? And then ended up price giving us a lower low. And this is where we could see that price has just been pretty much rejecting the entire time, moving sideways this pretty much entire time here. So boom, we went down, right? And it wasn't even like a break, it was just a little pullback. Because again, we're trading between this low, right? We can see that price never really tapped into these lows ever, right? This is the closest we've been. So, you know, I'm just not even going to entertain these lows. But what I'm going to do is just follow the internal structure, the movements on the internal structure. Which here again, to confirm that this is the full hour lows and highs, you know, we could go back just a little bit, but we could start seeing lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And this is where price gave us equal highs, right? Pretty much lower low, equal highs, whatever, right? This is where price gave us this little zone of consolidation moving sideways, right? And price is back at these lows. Now at these lows, right, internally is where we could go now, is where we want to start seeing price give us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, right? And then price ended up giving us this higher high break of structure here, right? So the fact that it gave us that break of structure, the fact that it gave us the pullback that we were looking for as well, it's looking good, right? We know that we were looking for this pullback to continue this push to the top side. However, now we're in that situation where today is the third day, we already have that third day push. And now price is, you know, is price giving us another internal, you know, could we turn it around now and start saying, well, okay, we had this break of structure. This break of structure gave us this low and this high now. Price didn't give us a clean break of structure, but it gave us a new 30-minute low and 30-minute high. And we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low, these 30-minute highs, and could we be expecting a pullback, to the 50% or whatever the case is? To continue, we could say that too. But I don't like this zone. I want to see that internal, or that external, I guess you could say. I want to see that external shift. We got 10 minutes for news to hit. So once again, for gold, very similar to what I was saying with GU with the Fib retracements. Right, we already know 23.6 wasn't working. Now we're testing out 38.2. And for us to see that anchor point, we need to start seeing higher highs and higher lows. And we can see that we're still making, we're pretty much lower low, lower high, and lower low. Since we haven't broken these lows yet, we're not trading between lower low, lower high, these lows. No, we're trading lower low, lower high, break of structure, lower low. Right? Price never broke these highs, price broke these lows, and then again, price hasn't broken these lows yet, so we're still trading between this high and this low. So before I could even consider taking a trade here on gold, I either need to see a break of the internal structure, which will be these highs, to continue going long, or we'll just see price continue this downtrend push. Bitcoin, once again, buys would be very nice, but we can see that we are trading between still the lower low and lower high. So we don't want to get faked out in these trades just yet. So Bitcoin, I'm going to give it a few to take that trade. And then US oil, very similar. Right? We can see again, internally, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. But when we zoom it out, we can see that this is most likely going to be, another push to the top side. Right, lower low, lower high, lower low. We still have a few zones to make a higher low or high if we need to. And we already have 3 months of drops, so I'm not expecting price to continue dropping for this month. Go to. I'm interested to see how price is gonna move US 30 here with the news. Damn, this shit's slowing down. Come on, man. Price is pushing up here with these candles, so we'll see what price does. We got 8 minutes left, guys. We got 4 minutes. Got 30 seconds, guys. Let's see what happens. If anything at all, right? If anything at all. Usually 8:30 doesn't do nothing too crazy, but markets have been fucking awkward these last couple weeks, so maybe this time we'll get something happening. Oh, it's freezing in this house, man. 5 seconds. Okay, we got some movement. We can't be upset at that. So, US 30 is a beast, bro. You know, this goes back to just what we were saying, right? Like everybody's like, oh, but this could be the higher low. This is gonna be the lows. It's like, yo, we there's so many rules in trading where you have to make sure you're following these rules, man. Right? Like, how many people you think took these trades going long, right, to continue? And I mean, like, where their stop loss got hit. I mean, where's your stop loss gonna be, right? If you put it below the zone, below here, right? If you're looking at the bodies of the candles, if you put it below the wick, you're still in this trade, but you were just in drawdown, 90% drawdown, 99% drawdown, right? Just that one candle alone, right? Let's go look at the other pairs real quick. Right, USD catch spike down to the bottom, but again, not gonna really look at that. Let's just look at the ones that we had on for the day. Right, gold. If you took an early trade, your stop loss got spiked out. Right, and this is one of those situations where as a trader you're gonna ask yourself, and I see this question a lot, which is, how do you avoid getting spiked out? The only way you're getting spiked out of a trade, the way gold would have spiked us out if we were in this trade early, going into Asia session when we did the session when we talked about it. Again, there's no way to avoid this spike out, right? There's no way, unless you're using a crazy stop loss, which wouldn't even make sense, right? There's really no way to avoid this stop loss. The only way to avoid it is by avoiding getting into low probability trades, right? And again, we know this is a low probability because we have, okay, well, yeah, you guys, you could avoid it because there's rules to it anyway, right? Let's go back and let's say, okay, you could avoid it, right? And the way to avoid it is by understanding structure, right? There hasn't been any anchor points. There hasn't been any points on gold yet that tell us price is turning around, right? Without that anchor point, you have no entry zone. That's really, it's just as simple as that. So let's keep going. Bitcoin, nothing really happened, just kind of gave us that spike down. And then oil, nothing happened with oil. Okay. Let's look at the other pairs real quick. AU gave us a crazy, again, if you're trading the 30-minute lows and highs, oh, I'm just gonna get in on the 30-minute low and have a stop loss. Right, boom, you got spiked out. Your USD, same thing, right? And it's crazy how would we, not crazy, because we understand the game. We understand the game before it happens. But I want to see where this wick is at. Did it hit our 200 EMA? Almost did. Your USD is looking good. We're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So I want to see that turnaround, but that pullback, you guys can see we did this live, right? Where's that pullback gonna be? Look how pinpoint perfect this shit is. But again, I'm not trading until 8:45. We gotta wait for this for the news to kind of slow down a little bit. You guys can see that what I talk about is not no bullshit. What are we looking at? Pullback in this little zone. Looking for a steeper pullback. Did we get it? Yes. We got on the 4-hour time frame. So now we know. This is where that anchor point is setting up now. Why? Well, because if this turns into a bearish exhaustion candle, then we know we're no longer gonna go down, right? That's gonna be the anchor, and once that anchor is set, we gotta wait for this 30-minute candle closure to close, right? Once that anchor is set, then in the 30-minute time frame, we'll want to start seeing higher highs and higher lows. So we can see that. Look how many times price has rejected these lows. If this if this candle closes here, we never close below the bodies. We're still closing in the same spot, right? This would be that exhaustion candle once again, but we gotta wait for the candle closure, and then we'll start seeing price give us higher highs and higher lows. So GU is setting up really nice for us already. Again, we talked about these entries as soon as we turned the stream on an hour and a half ago. We talked about what price was gonna want to do. Did it do it? Yes. This is not luck. This is, again, the same shit we talk about every single day. We already know these moves are gonna happen before they happen. Now we gotta wait for what? We have to wait for those anchors, right? We never had an anchor throughout the last 5 days in the market. Never had an anchor, so we couldn't take any trades. And again, if you would have taken trades, you would have gotten hit out, right? Now that the anchor is being set, this is when we want to start taking a trade. This is when we're going to start looking for our setups. But we have to wait for this 30-minute candle to close. So GU, even though STP is already done, I'm not going to be trading it today, but I want to see how this 30-minute candle closes. That's going to be very interesting. You know, similar to EU. Again, this is a game of being patient, waiting for your setups to happen. Once your setups happen, then you start taking those trades. I'm not really gonna be trading US 30. I'm not really gonna be trading S&P. I'm not gonna be trading USD CAD. Gold, I'm not gonna be trading it either. Again, I'm looking for a break, and you can see how price is just going back and forth from the top to the bottom, rejecting lows, rejecting highs. that Bitcoin is pushing down. So again, same reason why we didn't take those buys just yet. Would have been a drawdown, would have probably hit a stop loss because Bitcoin is a very big pair. And then oil hasn't done anything either. So I'm at this point, I'm turning off oil. Bitcoin will keep on. Gold I'm gonna turn off once again, but same thing. I'm looking for either price to break highs to continue, or I'm looking for price to break lows to continue going short. Let's take a look at USD ZAR and CAD real quick. So ZAR, you can see that it just fucking zoomed right back down. Right, hit STP for the day. USD CAD already hit STP going long. You see it tried the same thing. And then once again, US 30. Again, we're still pretty much testing the lows, so nothing there just yet. We'll have to wait for this for these candles to slow down. So we'll keep an eye on US 30. Is the only one that's really left for the day that we could catch something, if possible. But we have to wait for this 30-minute candle. So we'll wait till 9 a.m. Dude, it is freezing. Gosh. Oh man. Now we got 20 minutes. Alright, we got the 8:45 candle to close. We got a couple seconds left. However, again, since these candles are really big, since that news candle was really big, you can't we can't go off the 15-minute time frame. We can't. We gotta wait for that 30-minute candle closure. To avoid getting the fake out, since this is a huge 30-minute candle. Once again, on a regular day, guys, I would already shut my screen off, and we'd be done looking at the charts, right? Because again, that candle pretty much gave you STP, gave you the ADR for the day that we were missing for a lot of these pairs. However, we're in situations where we know we're in pullbacks, and we understand that, again, if you understand anchor points and you understand the market and how it flips and how the moves are made, you know that right now these 30-minute candles, pretty much the next hour is very interesting. It's going to be very crucial to understand what's the next step in the market. Now there's a 99% chance that I might not even take a trade. Once again, 99% chance that I might not take a trade. Again, I'm just more getting ready for the next trading session. So we gotta wait. Just gotta wait for these 30-minute candle closures. Also kind of want to see before anything else. Do I need any other pair that needs to be turned on? So AU, I'm still not looking for a trade because I need to see a pullback. And I'm not trading this going counter, so I'm not gonna look at AU. Let's look at these in the daily time frame. Where am I for EA? We're at the bottom. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. Still making lower lows and lower highs. And then in the 30-minute time frame, we're on the 800. We had a little change of character, break of structure, looking for a pullback to happen. So we had 3 days of rise. On the third day, price didn't give us a new push, but it gave us a new day of rise, technically speaking. And then today we're looking for price to no net or give us a day of drop. So this could be one where I am looking for price to still give me a pullback to continue up. The only thing is, again, the 30-minute is up, but the 4-hour we're in a lower high, right? And the daily time frame we're in a lower high. It's the only thing I don't like about this, right? So we're not going to. This is where, again, you separate the charts, right? You got to separate, okay, what's high probability versus low probability. And right now, this entry that I'm thinking about looking at, which is again the 50% retracement, is a low probability trade. So EA, I'm not gonna turn that one on. We'll just update that tonight in the isolation session. EuroCAD in the daily time frame. Again, this is a pair where I would love for price to continue this uptrend push and give us the break of structure first before giving us the pullback. And we had this one marked up, this little zone marked up, but I deleted it in one of my one-on-ones. But we know that we're trading in this little zone. So once again, what am I looking for on EuroCAD to continue this push to the top side? I need to see that anchor. We haven't gotten an anchor yet, but now as we go down into the lower time frames, we could see that we got the anchor, right? We got the little change of character. We finally got the break of structure, right? The break of structure, 3 days of rise no net. We're expecting that fourth day push to the top side, right? And then we could have gotten aggressive on this. I'm not gonna lie. How could we have gotten aggressive? If I would have been active on this chart, right? What are we looking for? Alright, we're looking for a pullback to the 50%, 61.8. We could have really gotten aggressive on this to continue that push to the top side. 54 pips. Did we do 54 pips already? Yeah, we did. Right, literally right before the news even hit, we completed the 54 pips. So could have gotten aggressive on this one, but it's all good. The confirmation is there. We finally got the change of character. We finally got the break of structure. So EuroCAD, we know that going into the end of this week and going into the rest of next week, right? And for the rest of the month, we could expect price to continue this push to the top side. So this is good. We finally got our anchor points. We finally got price to push up, right? Only thing that was missing here, obviously, was that news. If this news never would have been it, we would have had a cleaner move. This would have been picture perfect trade to take. But it's still good. Again, price reset, the trend reset. Right, this is a day of rise. Friday, we know that going into tomorrow, all we're looking for is a pullback to continue. And then going into next week, we'll look for 372. So EuroCAD is looking good for. We'll update. I'm gonna turn it off now. I'm just keeping it off, but we'll be looking at it for during the isolation session. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. Okay, so I'm gonna have to delete some of these drawings. You guys saw what we drew earlier. Okay, so what are we looking for? Once again, a pullback to the 200 EMA. We got that. Boom, perfect. You know, this shit did exactly what I said it was gonna do. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna get into any of these trades yet. I'm gonna wait for that fucking crazy ass wick that we would have had to fight. You know, again, and you know, that's why I like that I learned with that rule of 15 minutes, you're not trading 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after news. When I first started learning how to trade, that was one of the first rules I learned. And I'm glad I had that like engraved in my head. Because if not, I'd be one of those traders just, oh, I'm gonna get in. Like, nah. Whatever news does, this is just a plus. Right? Again, like what I said earlier, sometimes you're not gonna catch those wick entries. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now it's about catching the after effect. Right? Is it an inducement? Is this a break of structure? Right? This is where the real traders step in. And again, it's just all about patience. It's understanding, okay, this is a huge candle going both ways. So we know this isn't a real break of structure whichever way it goes. However, the next 30-minute candle, if this gives us a test of the highs and closes above the structure, and the next candle gives us that break of structure, then we know all we're looking for is a pullback for a continuation. But if this candle right now closes as a testing candle and it closes below the structure, like if it closes here and the next candle fails to close above the structure, then we know price is going to go right back down to the bottom and continue this downtrend push, right, to continue this pullback that we're in. And then it'll give us the anchor to continue, right? So either this is going to be the anchor if price closes above here, right, and we got another green candle that closes above here, we know that this is where price is going to anchor, right, to continue the uptrend push. Or we know that price is going to do something like this again down here to continue the uptrend push. That's it. This is the only two things that could happen. So again, this is why I'm just so patient with what I'm looking for, because again, I know it's going to show up. It's just about how it's going to show up and when it shows up, right? And under the circumstances that, again, okay, like at this point, STP and ADR are pretty much already hit for every single pair. So, you know, I'm not gonna force anything. Same thing with GCAD. Look at GCAD. It's crazy. Anybody who took trades early, who took trades after STP is hit, you got hit out. You're crying right now. Why the hell did that happen? So, you know, GJ's another one. Right? How many traders you think got hit with their stop loss on a pair like GJ, which is such a big fucking pair, right? A stop loss for this, if you get in something like this, you know, you're looking at 104 pip stop loss. You know, people aren't trading GJ with 100 pip stop loss. They're probably trading the internal structure and just kept a 22 pip stop, or even went below here at 50 pips. You know, if you took GJ thinking that this is where price was going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows, right, without looking at the external structure, without understanding that this is where price has been rejecting the entire time, you know, you probably got in this trade thinking you were good. but you weren't. You never got the break of structure, right? This price was still downtrending. So again, understanding that is the reasons why I say that you could avoid taking losses, because these are unnecessary losses. These are losses that rookies take when you don't know market structure, and that's okay. But once you lose like this 3 different times, right? You go into your trading journal, you go into your, what trades you took. Once you go into the reasonings as to why you're losing those trades, that's what's gonna make you, that's what's gonna separate you as a trader compared to everybody else. So once again, GU, we're looking for this candle closure. US 30, still good, still pushing down, which is all good. Right, again, I'm looking for my confirmations. We understand. Again, I deleted the drawings, but we'll draw them again. Right, but we know we're in a zone of consolidation. We know this, right? Or are we blind here? Right? Like, where are we? We know we're in a zone of consolidation. I mean, we're not fucking, this isn't rocket science. Anybody who tells you otherwise just doesn't know what the fuck they're saying. Right? I'm speaking the language of the charts. Anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. We're in a zone of consolidation, rejecting highs, rejecting lows the entire time. So again, what am I looking for? In a zone of consolidation, what are you looking for? You're either looking for a rejection of the highs to continue going short, a rejection of the lows to continue going long, or you're looking for a break of structure of the highs to continue going long, or you're looking for a break of structure of the lows to continue going short. I haven't gotten any of that yet. Right now we're rejecting highs. Cool. Internally, we could possibly go into the internal time frame. I'm cooling off of that. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a break of structure. Why? I know I have these gaps at the bottom of the market that I know price is gonna go down and fill. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Same thing I did last week. Same thing I did in the beginning of this week. If I don't get that break of structure, I'm not taking none of these trades going short. And I'm cooling off of that. It's trading is as simple as you make it. If you make this shit difficult for yourself, you're gonna make it difficult for yourself. It's gonna be hard. Now if you just simplify it and you create rules and you understand the reasonings as to why you have your rules, it's gonna be very difficult to lose trades. USD CAD, we're still in the higher highs, so before I even look at USD CAD, I want to see a pullback. USD is very interesting, man, but that's the difficult thing that we talked about earlier, that the correlation between those two pairs, USD CAD and ZAR, are similar. So I hate seeing them move this different, because while USD ZAR looks good for continuation to go long, USD CAD, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for USD CAD to do what USD ZAR is doing right now. Right? But understanding higher time frame structure also allows me to understand why price is moving this way, because we see price making lower lows and lower highs. Right? We see price doing that. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So again, this downtrend push for USD ZAR is not like I'm not expecting it. We're expecting it to happen. Right? But for this to be moving down this way and USD CAD to be pushing up the way it is when they usually move together, that's what has me. It has me on a little, I guess you could say, a little chokehold, man. Got me messed up down here. So gotta wait. Right, we're still trading between this higher high, higher low, higher high. I'm looking for a pullback to happen, but same thing for ZAR. Right, I'm either looking for these to be the inducements of the lows to continue this uptrend push, which again, if it gives us that uptrend push, right, then we know this is the flip zone to continue. Right, we'll have 2 weeks of rise. We know next week we'll be looking for price to continue into the 4-hour highs up here. Right, so once again, we have this all as a little, shall I say it again? We just gotta be patient. That's all it is. Now you're saying, well, why'd you just move your 4-hour high and low? Well, just to have a little bit more precise, but we know that in the 4-hour we had a little change of character, right? Lower low, lower high, and then break of structure, lower low, right? Because yeah, these lows are lower, but we were just testing these lows. We never had a break of structure, right? We didn't have the break of structure until these lows down here. So technically speaking, right, I really am trading between here and here, right? When we had the break of structure, what was the highest point in this little zone was this high over here. So then what I'm using is the highest candle, which is that green wick, right? The last green candle before the push down, and then I'm using the body of this green candle over here as the bottom of my zone. So then now we kind of have a better understanding where we're trading, right? On USD-ZAR, since we're still in a downtrend, we know that we're still trading between the 50% fib retracement and the 61.8, right? And we see that, right? Beautiful. So USD-ZAR is moving exactly how it needs to move, right? In comparison to USD-CAD, where it's like, not really, right? It's not looking that good, right? USD-CAD internally looks like it wants to continue the push to the top side, right? Internally, it has 2 weeks of rise, right? So I kind of want to see the same movement here for USD-ZAR, right? If price is gonna reject these highs, right? If it's gonna reject this higher time frame, lower low, lower high, this is where we'll want to start seeing price reject the structure, which again in the 30-minute time frame is gonna be if we respect the higher highs and higher lows, right? So this is where candlestick analysis is gonna come in handy, right? And that's why I wanted to see these 30-minute closures, because now this is a bearish exhaustion candle, letting us know that price not really wanting to go down, right? So USD-ZAR, this is going to be one where, yeah, I could most likely be expecting price to continue this push to the top side. So that's what I'm going to be looking for now that we have that 30-minute candle closure. We kind of had a long explanation for a lot of these pairs, but that's pretty much what I wanted to see. So we're still testing on Euro USD. You can see how candle didn't close above the structure like we were talking about, right? It didn't close above the structure, it didn't close below. We're still testing, so I'm not really looking for Euro USD until tonight. GU, same thing. We didn't close below, we didn't close above, we just closed right in the middle, pretty much just at the same. Take out the wicks, right? I hope this makes sense, right? If you take out the wicks, which if you go to the line chart, wick is never there. So just in your brain when you're looking at the candlestick chart, just remove the wick, right? What is price and what has price been doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So at this moment, your outlook of the market should really be the same. What are you looking for internally for price to continue these highs? You're looking for price to break these highs over here. Shit, that was a horrible line, right? For price to continue going long. And you already know that, okay, now in the next 30-minute candles, if price rejects these highs, right, the same way we have it drawn here, this is where price is going to go lower. But if price breaks above these highs, then we'll most likely just have to shift this around, and we'll be looking for this to happen up here, right? So, or vice versa, this is where price is going to give us the anchor, right? But that anchor is only going to be set once we make a change of character to continue. So this is still a pair where, yeah, we could most likely get a move. We still got 30 minutes and another hour for volume to kick in, right, for the NYC Open. So this is most likely a pair that for tonight, going in the isolation session, we'll look for price to do what it has to do. US 30, let's see, once again, we ended up closing right on it. Didn't give us a clean break. Didn't give us a clean closure below, but it gave us a closure below. However, it's still testing. So this is the only pair for the day that still hasn't given us STP. Could price continue the downtrend push? Once again, we don't really have any engulfing candles. Come on, man. Trading views, step it up. Right. If we zoom into the 30-minute, some could argue, oh, this is an engulfing. Because look, it's green, green, red. Yeah, but not a strong engulfing. It happened with news. I don't like using those candles as engulfings. These news candles don't really hold a lot of weight. The reason I say that is because of the wicks, right? Maybe if the top wick wouldn't have been so long, you know, same thing with the bottom wick. If it wouldn't have been such a big wick, you know, then this candle would be a strong candle. But to me, this is just an imbalanced candle, right? If the second green candle would have been a little bit longer, instead of it being just a bigger wick than the body, that would be another, you know, that would be another situation where I'll be sitting here and I'll be looking and I'll be saying, okay, yeah, guys, we'll just look for price to retest here, and this is where we'll take a trade going short, and we'll have a stop loss up here, right? But in this case, the way I'm looking at the candlesticks, the way I'm seeing how market structure is playing out, this is not a strong enough confirmation for me to take a trade going short up here. So US 30 will continue to monitor. You know, S&P, same thing. I don't know how I got to S&P, but S&P kind of has the same situation. Only difference is that S&P's engulfing candle, the first green candle doesn't have a top wick, so it wouldn't even make it a valid engulfing candle anyway. Again, USD CAD still pushing down. Well, still in the same spot, not really pushing down. Gold, we're looking for price to break above. Again, we're just testing, but it's good. Now that we got a testing candle above, once again, what are we looking for? We're looking for another green candle to close above without touching the zone, and this went back down into the zone. So this is really one that for tonight's isolation session is most likely where we want to see this. Now I do want to say too that technically speaking, we had lower low, lower high, right? Technically we had this news candle give us a lower low here, and then also give us a change of character, higher high. So again, the confirmation of me wanting to say that if we end up changing this to a change of character, and we're looking at this as higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low to continue, right? The uptrend push on gold. What I need to see before I could say this is going to be a break of structure above this. So if we get a green candle that closes above here, that closes above the first green candle and doesn't touch the zone, right? Then I'll say, okay, yeah, cool. Then we'll have a higher low to a higher high. But if we don't get that break of structure, then we're just going to be consolidating in this zone. And this is how I'm going to draw it. So then later tonight when we do the isolation session, I'll send this to E2, or I'll tell him to add me to the call if he ends up doing the class tonight, and I'll explain that for gold. But I hope that made sense, guys. Let me know if it doesn't. And then Bitcoin, we're still again lower low, lower high. I'm not going to be trading Bitcoin just yet. I want to start seeing price give me higher highs and higher lows, very similar to gold in a way, right? Before I could start really trading gold, I want to see higher highs and higher lows. But for gold, I'm looking at it on the internal time frame, while Bitcoin, I'm looking at it as a external 30-minute high, 30-minute low. So what time is it? 9:08. We'll stay till 9:30. We'll wait for the next 30-minute candles and we'll see. But at this point, I'm not really interested in trading for the rest of the day today. We don't have any more news coming up. 9:15 we have FOMC low impact. Same thing for 10:30, FOMC low impact. So we shouldn't really expect anything too crazy. And then tomorrow, right, Friday, going into the morning, GBP has news at 2 a.m. and then 8:30 we have news, and Canada has news too. 8:30 a.m. So same thing as today. So, and then Monday I believe is a bank holiday. You are fucking funny. Alright. Oh, we got 17 and a half minutes. 9:30 open. And then we start the party, so. You know what we'll do here too? We'll get frisky with that. I got y'all. So you're telling me, well, how could you go into the lower time frame? Let's do it. Right, so let's first of all, let's see if the 5 minute or the 1 minute would suffice. So the 5 minute we had higher high, higher low, higher high, right? We had the wick, which at this point, are we gonna count this as higher high, higher low, higher high? Are we gonna say lower low and then higher high again? Like that doesn't make sense, right? So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna ignore that wick. This candle doesn't really exist in my brain, right? So what am I gonna do with that wick? It's very simple, right? We know I had higher high, higher low, right? We're not gonna say that this is higher high, higher low, higher high. No, what I'm gonna do is just look at the bodies of the candle and be like, okay, cool, this is the lowest point, right? This isn't a significant break, this isn't a significant pullback for me to say that this is gonna be a higher high, higher low, higher high. Well, what I am gonna do is say that this is higher high, higher low, higher high. So we know that right now, price technically in the 5 minute time frame did give us a little change of character in the 1 minute time frame. However, once again, when we look at the body of these candles, right? Did we close below that body? No, we never did. So with that being said, once again, I can't even say that this is a strong, oh, this is a change of character and we're gonna start going short. I can't say that, right? Because it's not true. Price never broke below the zone. This is not a strong shift in character, right? Which adds more strength as to why this engulfing candle is not a valid engulfing candle. Because if we would have had a real break of structure or a real change of character of these lows, and then we would have had a pullback, you know, that's easy money. We know we're gonna go down. I mean, what else are we asking for, right? But our rules are not being followed. So with that being the case, we can't say that that's a change of character. We can't say that that's an engulfing candle. Now, the 1 minute time frame, we could go in lower into this, right? In the 1 minute time frame, here we could say higher high, higher low, higher high, right? I would still mark this again. I wouldn't worry about the wick. I would still count this as higher low. But it's different here because here is where we have higher high. Right? We'll zoom in a little bit in this, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. And this is where price gave us the change of character, lower low. So in the 1 minute time frame, we know we were trading between this high and this low. And what ended up happening? Right? We know that price gave us a change of character. And this is where the break of structure had to have happened. In the 1 minute time frame. So we're not confused. Right? So boom. Did we get the break of structure? We did. So then this is where price gave us, okay, cool. Lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high. We'll just say all of this is lower low. Because we can't say this significant than this lower low, lower low, higher high, right? And then higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This is where price gave us a change of character, lower low, and this is where price gave us a change of character, higher high, and then we have the news change of character, lower low again, right? I'm not gonna say that in the 5 minute. The 5 minute or in the 1 minute, right? That 1 minute structure is a lot of lies, right? The 5 minute is where structure really holds up, and it really tells us what price wants to do, right? The 1 minute's a little bit too frisky in there. Right, but we could see that we did have a change of character in the 1 minute. We had the break of structure, right? All of this, we had the pullback, and then price gave us that push number 3 to the bottom, right? When you're looking at it like that, even in the 1 minute, not getting frisky with the gaps or with the wicks, the crazy candles like this one that happened at 4 in the morning, like this one that happened now with the news, right? We technically did trade the lower low, right? We had to pull back. Right, that pullback was pretty crazy with the wick. So if you got in early thinking that this was going to be the pullback, you know, you probably got hit with a stop loss. But you know, and then price continued, so you wouldn't really have had a trade here. Stop loss would have been hit, and then you know, with the rules that you have in prop firms, not even being able to trade, some are 5, some are 10, some are 15 minutes before after news, you wouldn't really have been able to catch this trade. So again, we can't even count that as a, oh, we could have gotten in. No, we really couldn't have. So now again, let's come back to what's happening right now. Right, in the structure in the 5 minute, we know that we did not get a break of structure. We know we didn't get a real change of character. Right, these are still testing candles. So you know, this is not a nice zone to really say, okay, yeah, this is where price is going to give us this engulfing candle, this retest that we're looking for, right? This little change of character that we can see here in the 5 minute, to then continue, because it's not a strong shift. So price still hasn't told us that it's going to turn around. This could simply still be just a retracement, right? A higher low to continue into a higher high. So US 30 will wait this one out. I'm not going to really trade it until tonight in the isolation session. And then once again, Bitcoin, similar, right? We don't have a break of structure. These are still testing candles. Price is either going to reject these highs the way we see them now to go short, or it's going to give us the break a little bit later on to continue. Or price is just gonna, if it doesn't break either side, is just going to consolidate. So I don't I don't really have any other trades for today that I'm really looking at to trade. If you guys in the chat, anybody in Discord either, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Let me know what trades, what pairs you guys want me to go over. Um, if no questions, if no pairs, then yeah, 9:30. I'm pretty much just gonna give it. I'm gonna give the stream till 9:35. I just want to see what the NYC Open gives us, and then we'll be done for the day. Um, we'll be back tomorrow. That's pretty much it, guys. 15 seconds, as you guys could see. Price is, come on, TradingView, don't do this to me now. I hate TradingView. I want to go back to MetaTrader. Please take me back to MetaTrader where the fucking charts don't lag every time you fucking have 9:30 open. Horrible ass charts, man. So boom, you had to push to the top side, you had to retest, 9:30 open. Price came zooming back down. So let's see what price does. And I'm more likely gonna be looking at the internal time frame here for US 30, and again, I'm not gonna be looking at the wick, right? Same way I didn't look at the wick here, I'm not gonna be looking at the wick here. So we're still trading between the previous higher high, higher low, and higher high, right? And to not confuse anybody, let's put a box. Right, for us to have a break, we're gonna put this a purple box. Right, for us to have a nice change of character, we need to see what we're seeing now. Right, that break. Now, this is where we want to start getting ready to potentially start looking for these sells back to the bottom. But again, I don't want to see just a wick. I want to see an actual body closure below the zone, which we still haven't gotten yet either. At 3 minutes for this 5-minute candle. Let's keep this in the 5-minute time frame here. Let's look at the other pairs real quick. So go back to gold. Still in the same thing. 30-minute candle, close below, back into the zone. So I'm looking for price to either break or reject. And the other pairs we were saying we're pretty much just gonna wait them out, right? Pretty much just gonna wait. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna focus on US 30 for right now. So we'll give this till 9:45 and then I'll be done for the day. Boom, in the last 5 minutes, we got that push. The last couple seconds. Which is good. This is what we want to see. We want to see this change of character. But I want to see that candle closure below. Damn, bro, I don't want to see an exhaustion candle. We got 20 seconds. Come on. Give us that break. Give us that confirmation. And we're golden. Yes, close below. We got 10 seconds. Stay down here. Damn, bro. We gotta fucking close below again. You gotta be kidding me. See, it's just still testing these lows. This is why internal time frame and external time frame really got to be able to paint the picture here. 30-minute, how are we looking still? We're still good. Okay. Anything in the higher time frames? No. The 15, we have a little green, red too. Could say that this is going to be an engulfing candle, but again, for me to have said that this would have been a nice engulfing candle in the next 15-minute candle closure, I would have loved to have seen that break of structure in the 5-minute. And we could still get it, right? We could still say, well, in 5 minutes, right? If in 5 minutes we get the candle closure below, and then we got to retest, we could say that that's going to be the zone to take the trade. Right? We have green, red. The only thing I don't like again is that green candle, the first wick, is a very big wick, right? But again, I would still want to see this engulfing candle below. So we got 5 minutes. So we'll take a look at US 30 here in the next 5 minutes. We'll see. And then again, gold, we're still testing these highs. So at this point, we could be possibly just looking at where price is going to consolidate. Just trap traders going long, trap traders going short, and just move sideways till tomorrow, or possibly even till Tuesday, since Monday we have bank holiday and we have no news tomorrow really. So Yo, chill. What do you mean? Damn. Share your screen real quick. I'll share your screen. I'll look at it through your screen. Mm-hmm. Right. you you took those buys on GJ. That's a crazy spot to buy, bro. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was more a little surprised on GJ just based on how it is on the 4 hour. Like, you know what I mean? Like how many times price rejected those highs in the 4 hour. Yeah, even in the structure. Yeah. Even if you zoom out, right? Like that's a whole zone where it's like, you're in a higher high. In a swing trader mentality, it should be like, well, if these higher highs don't stick, we know we're getting a pullback. This is where we have to turn around and flip. This is like pretty much the same example I was giving you yesterday. Like how do you differentiate high probability versus low probability? Like these are just there's a difference between losing trades that, okay, it's following a real, like, your system, and it's like you lost that trade, like it's all good, like whatever, right? But like losing a pair where, or losing a trade where it wasn't a necessity to lose that trade, because there was so much confluence letting you know that that's just not a good trade. So it's like, it's the same thing with this US 30 trade. Like literally the exact same explanation on that. Mhm. AJ, look, I share my screen on Discord. Like even AJ, like I don't have this one marked up. I just did it right now, but it's like it's the same thing as GJ. If anything, AJ had a little bit more confluence. It looked a lot better going short than anything else compared to GJ. Yeah, because in AJ at least, right, comparing it to GJ, like let's go look at GJ real quick. Right, GJ in the 4 hour time frame, these highs, price was just testing these highs the entire time, like boom, test, 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 right? And in the 30-minute time frame, price was higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? It never really gave us a turnaround to let us really understand, like, okay, this is where price is gonna reject, right? The only thing we had up here was, again, it was just the fact that look how many times price rejected these highs, right? Comparing it to AJ, where AJ, it's like, okay, yeah, we reached the highs. Look how many times price rejected these highs, right? In the 4 hour, but then also in the 30-minute, not only do we have the rejections, but we also have lower low, lower high, right? And where did price retest to? I mean, just look at the internal structure. The internal structure gave you a little lower low, lower high. So you already knew, okay, cool. I'm looking for a retest somewhere in this area. And that's exactly what you got. To price continue. So like even this trade in the internal, right? It's like it's a good trade, cool, because you're looking for a pullback. But again, it's like, yo, you're already, like, where's your exit at? You have to look at market structure. You're an AJ. Oh, let me see in this 4 hour. This one right here. Yeah, which is just literally like a 30-minute. That's just really a 30-minute low. Right? In the 4 hour, you're really trading between structure wise, you're really trading between lower high over here and this lower low. Everything else that's happening inside of here is just 30-minute structure. It's 30-minute structure because this is where you see, like, yeah, again, in the 4 hour, you can see that price structure in the 4 hour reached the previous lower high, which is where you start seeing, okay, look, price already rejected these highs 1-2 different times. But it's not really until you go into a 30-minute that you start seeing, like, okay, well, after the rejection happens, what happened? Price gave you that change of character, lower low. It gave you that anchor. It anchored up here already. That's the anchor. Yeah, exactly. Right. So when price anchored already, over here in the anchor it could look like, in a down formation, it could look like an A. It could look like a double top, right? And it gave us a double top. Gave us a little double top, a shoulder had shoulder, gave you the lower low and then the lower high. Yeah, it's just unnecessary losses. Again, you could take those losses. I wouldn't even say it's the timing because it, again, is not really the timing. Because again, like the trade you took, again, is not a bad trade because you're still in that pullback. However, market structure is key. If you don't look at market structure, what are you trading? How do you know where price is gonna go if you don't know market structure? You don't, right? That goes into what I always say, like a double top, right? Just right here on the chart, right here, what you can see on the 1 hour, price just gave you a double top. So why would you take a long on the retest of the double top? You see what I mean? Like it just certain things like that where there's more to it. There's more to the loss than just, okay, yeah, you have a strategy. Like, again, yeah, everybody has a strategy, right? Your entry point, to give in comparison with mine, right? Like mine's an engulfing candle. There's an engulfing candle every day in the market. But when you go and you start looking at the reasons why this engulfing candle worked and compared to this engulfing candle, that's where the game changes. So it's the same thing with your rule. Like, okay, you want to see price close above, give you the retest of your green box. It's like, okay, cool. That could happen anywhere in the chart. Now, if you're looking for price, if price is giving you higher highs and higher lows and you have that in your rules, okay, cool. Then you take those to continue. But how can you be looking for price to go long in a situation where price is giving you, not only did it already reject the highs in the pullback, but then after the pullback, after the rejection of the highs, it also started giving you lower lows and lower highs. You see what I mean? So like this loss isn't even one where you could say, oh well, I followed my rules 100% to the T and I lost. Like, no, this one was simply, you could avoid this loss by looking at market structure. Because this is a trade that you're not gonna win anytime. Like, this isn't a trade where you take it 50% of the time and you win. Like, no, this is a trade that, these are the trades you lose every single time you lose. Like, when you lose a trade, these are the losses that you take. And you know those are the losses you're gonna take because you made the same mistake on GJ. It's the same thing. So it's like, now that you understand, like, okay, cool, once I get into these zones, these are the rules for the market that I have to follow. You go from losing 6 out of 10 trades from losing 4 out of 10 trades. And you're no longer taking unnecessary losses because you understand where the market structure is at. Yeah.